What's up, wrestling fans? It's Doug flying solo on the One Bro Wrestling Show tonight. We're going to talk about Backlash from Lyon, France tonight. That's right, Backlash 2024. We're going to recap, review. So let's dive into this. Let's see if we can do this in under 10 minutes. Let's go. Well, let me just say things kick off with a bang. First match of the night, we have KO and Randy Orton, the Viper, going against, what are we calling these guys? The new Bloodline? Or are they still just Bloodline? I'm going to go with the newest versions of the Bloodline, the new Bloodline. So you got Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga going against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. They've had some beef in the recent weeks leading up to this, so it gets off to a banger of a start where it doesn't even get a start because it just breaks down into pure chaos. Nick Aldis comes out and says, whoa, kids, hold on. We're not doing that. Let's just make this a street fight and be done with it. Do what you need to do. I'm walking away. It's a street fight now. Have at it. France explodes. This crowd was hot all night. Just a super hot crowd. And this match was crazy. Spot. I usually don't like garbage matches like this, and not that it was a garbage match. The wrestling wasn't garbage, but the ECW style extremeness of the whole thing, where you have these spots and just these hardcore, like just mutilating spots. Not the biggest fan of those, but it just worked for this because these are guys who look like they had a blood feud going on, and in the end, the Bloodline wins because we have Tama Tonga, we have Solo Sikoa, and now we have Tangaloa. That's right. Both members of GOD, the Gorillas of Destiny, are now in the WWE. We got Solo Sikoa, we've got Tama Tonga, and now we have Tangaloa as the newest member of the Bloodline. Still no Jacob Fatu, still a very worried Paul Heyman. Moving on, next up, we had Bayley versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton. This is one of those matches where Kevin and I talked about it, and we really don't see Bayley losing. Of course, we really don't see Tiffy Stratton losing because it's not quite yet Tiffy time, although she kind of called for Tiffy time 1,000 times during the match. It's not Tiffy time just yet, which means Naomi has to be the good hand here and take the pin, and that is what she did. It was, to me, looked like a nice little roll up out of nowhere to just be out wrestled. The highlight of this match, I think, was Naomi and Bayley hitting a 3D on Tiffany. It's just like they had enough of her. Of course, Stratton, being the amazing person she is, had multiple spots throughout the match. I think this entire show was made better by the energy of this France crowd. They were just so into it. It reminded me a lot of last year's Backlash in Puerto Rico, where there was just so much energy being outside of the country, being in a market that doesn't necessarily get a WWE event, especially a premium live event, not even house shows really. But here they are getting this PLE, and they made the most of it. They made the most of their opportunity, signaling, hey, look at us for future PLEs, like maybe a WrestleMania in the future. Damian Priest, Jey Uso. This almost felt like it could have been a Raw match, something on TV, at least to me anyway. It's not to take away from anybody involved. It's just kind of the pacing and the way things were happening. I don't think anybody expected Damian Priest to lose his belt either this early, but it was good to get a little bit of advancement of some issues that the almost called them the Dark Order, then I almost called them the New Order. Let's try this one more time. Issues that the Judgment Day. It seems like we got some more. It was almost Bloodline like, in that the outcome of the match didn't matter as much as the post match, and we saw that with these guys, where there's the beatdown of Jey Uso after the fact, and we just got a little bit of dissension in the ranks there, some disagreements. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes. So, coming out of that match with Damian Priest and the Yeet Man himself, Mr. Main Event Jey Uso, we had the Kabuki Warriors versus the new, I heard them called the Power Buff Girls, because these girls are probably the strongest in the WWE ladies locker room. You've got Jade Cargill in her third match in WWE and teaming with Bianca Belair against the Kabuki Warriors. This was a fun match too. We knew the Kabuki Warriors were going to do the job here and do the job they did. I think the coolest spot for me was Jade Cargill catching Kairi Sane and flipping her around to do her finishing maneuver. If you've watched AEW in the past, you've seen this move done with, I think it was Sky Blue. This has happened before, but this is your first time seeing it. It's an amazing move. It just gets across how powerful this woman is, as if, physique isn't enough of an indicator of her strength. But, in the end, 3 matches into her WWE career, and Jade Cargill is now a title holder. She is a WWE champion. It's going to be great to see this run. What's going to be even better, I think, is seeing where this run goes when these two eventually break up and lead into a bitter, bitter feud with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I cannot wait for that. I'm more excited about the potential of this group breaking up than the run they're going to have, but I'm going to be patient and enjoy this while it lasts. Lastly, coming out of that, we have Cody. Could Cody retain after finishing his story? Could Cody beat another Georgia boy? What do you guys think? Of course, Cody retained. Of course he did. He has quite the story to tell, and he's going to be telling it for quite a while. I do not think he will have a Roman Reigns type reign, if you will, with this title belt, but he is going to be a champion for a while. And with that, it was a great match. All of these matches were punctuated with the France crowd. This crowd was just so hot. An amazing crowd, a great pay-per-view, an amazing crowd. I think this crowd made this pay-per-view. It would have been a okay pay-per-view and could have almost been another Monday night with some of these matches, but the crowd intensified things so much and just brought everybody up a level. All the performers were feeding off of it. The crowd was feeding off of it. It just accelerated everything. So let's go to a big finish here. We're talking botch of the night. I've got to say, as much as I love the bloodline angle that's forming, this new bloodline angle, it was a disappointment not to see Jacob Fatu. However, to see Tanga Loa, a major surprise to everyone, I believe, which kudos to WWE for pulling off a surprise. We just don't get that much in modern wrestling. But I think there's an opportunity missed here. Everybody wants to see Jacob Fatu. We were ready for Jacob Fatu to come on board. We got Tanga Loa, not complaining about it, but not the man we expected. Match of the night, I've got to go with this bloodline. The bloodline, brutal match. Poor Tama Tonga was beat, battered. His back looks terrible. He just took a beating and kept on going. Welcome to the WWE, Tama Tonga. Man, you took a beating tonight, and that back shows every bit of it. And now if we want to talk about performer of the night, this was a tough one for me. The crowd really cranked things up. I mean, they cranked things up. Paul Heyman's reactions also were something. The man deserves an Oscar. Just his actions and his reactions. It's hard for me to call this, but I'm calling it. I'm giving it to that Lyon France crowd. The Lyon France crowd is my pick for the performer of the night because they were just as much a part of this show. Just like last year when WWE went to Puerto Rico, they were a part of this show just like that audience. I want to see a WrestleMania match with the Puerto Rico audience and the Lyon France audience now, just to see, a blood feud there. Seriously, folks, this was a good pay-per-view. Usually I'm not the biggest fan of like the after WrestleMania pay-per-view. It's still kind of not fumbling around, but they're trying to find their footing for their new stories, trying to do a reset. And if they don't do a reset, they're doing rehashes of WrestleMania moments. We didn't get any of that really. So I'm happy for that. I'm happy to get some storylines advanced, and I'm happy to see such a hot crowd for the WWE and wrestling in general. That's it from me. I'll check the clock and see, maybe I'll see if I did this in 10 minutes or not. I'm really not sure. But that's it for this week. We will be back next week. We'll see you then.
We're just two old marks that love the ring. We're here to bring all the latest news, the wrestling scene, from the WWE to AEW. We got the scoop and we're sharing with you. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, we're tuned in. Rampage, Dynamite, Impact, we won't miss a thing. ROH and JPW, we got them covered too. We love wrestling just like you do. The Two Bros Wrestling Show, we're never slow. Covering all promotions, we're ready to go. The kings of the ring, we're taking the crown. Wrestling news, we're breaking it down.